Episode 530. Let's go. Let's get right into it. This is Joe Rogan, and some people are gonna have mixed feelings about this guest, but he's the ex-CIA guy, Mike Barker. Now, I'm very much of the thought process that once you're in this agency, you're always in this agency. So I think this former stuff is, I don't know. I think the former goes on and off at will, So he's a former CIA agent, and his name's Mike Barker. And him and Joe have had a lot of conversations, and they're always pretty good. He has a really good perspective on things, and he's still in the business of investigating things. He has a firm where he has a bunch of people under him, where it sounds like the CIA, right? I mean, but he has this firm, they investigate things. So he has a pretty unique take on a lot of things. And in this episode, they're talking about the fourth indictment on Trump. And I'm just going to go through some stuff. So I'm going to play his take first. Then I'm going to go over to a very amazing creator and his take on some of the stuff that's actually going on. And when you actually hear it, it sounds ridiculous. And then I'm going to play a little bit of what Trump actually said in regards to this issue. So we're going to touch on a bunch of different spots. And I'm going to give my take on it. I honestly think, Tate said it the best. He said in the interview, he's like, if you don't think that this is a matrix attack against Trump, he goes, you don't understand what's going on in the world. And it really does seem that way. Again, when you see the mainstream media just attacking somebody viciously, I never sit back and point at that person with everybody. I like to lean in. I like to actually look at them. And it seems they're fighting this guy, Trump, as if he's going to stop everything that's been going on. That's what it really feels like. I'm not one of these people that looks at Trump like Jesus or anything. I'm really not. I know he's a politician. I know he's a straight up businessman. I know in business he's ruthless. In politics he's hilarious and amazing. But I'm not one of these guys that thinks of him like some kind of god. But the way that they're coming at him really makes me think this whole attack within that we've been seeing over the past 4 years, it's like it stops if he gets in office. Or at least there's a big, a big kink in this whole thing if he does get into office. The way they're going at him is just like wild. You've never seen this before with a president. Before I get into the clip, I have to bring up the store, of course. I am CoachColin.com, where we have the Public Enemy #1 t-shirt. For those of you who don't know who this is, you keep asking. Please Google Agenda 2030, Google the World Economic Forum. Google, you will own nothing and be happy, and you will figure out who this is. The dude is literally, I think it's Henry Kissinger's protege. So that should tell you something there. We got the Certified Pure Blood t-shirt, of course, for those of you that survived the pandemic and came out the other end unscathed and untainted. And we have the Soul Not For Sale shirt. As always, the original Soul Not For Sale. A big middle finger to the establishment is what I meant to make when I made that shirt. And all of it is available on IamCoachColin.com. And if you want 10% off, all you got to do is put in the discount code I am Coach Colin. That's all capital letters, all one word, one L in the name Colin, and that gets you 10%. Big purchase, small purchase, anything. And if you've done that already, thank you so much. You are much appreciated. Now let's get into this clip.
And said, no, I'm not going to do that again. I don't think they walk it back and say, yeah, actually give me, because I don't, people, again, very emotive. So,
well, there's also the indictments. Now, what is your take on this Georgia thing? Because the Georgia thing is interesting, because I was just watching this video today that was detailing what they were claiming was evidence of fraud in the Georgia election.
Yeah. And
there's apparently some videos of people moving boxes around and doing some things that seem a little, at least on the surface, suspicious without an adequate explanation.
Yeah. I think it's I think they don't care whether they win or not, and I think they brought a fairly massive racketeering or RICO, charge at the top of this, sort of a criminal
10 counts,
conspiracy.
right?
Yeah, but it involves like Trump plus 18 others. And I think they can't be stupid. So they probably understand that it falls apart in appeal, right? And I don't think that that's going to hold up, but I don't think they care because last night, I mean, again, it shows you how bizarre this is. They held a press conference, right? They rushed this thing through. First of all, here's an interesting fact. First of all, the indictment showed up on the county website, right, in the afternoon before the grand jury had voted, right, before they had come across with what the charges would be, right? And so all of a sudden that comes across on the public domain, and I think it was Reuters that snapped it and kind of ran with it as a story. But then it was taken down off the county's website, right? And they were asked about it later on, and they said, it was fictitious or some bullshit, right? So you wonder, okay, how did that get leaked? Because then those charges that showed up earlier in the day matched what ended up being voted on by the grand jury. So that's a little odd, and it's, as far as I can remember, I think it's illegal to leak that sort of information, right, ahead of time. But also, how would they know? How would they know how the grand jury was going to decide at the end of the day what indictments to throw out there or to put out there in this charge? So that's something that probably should be looked at, but in today's world may not. But I think really she was pushing last night at whatever, 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. Who holds a press conference at this point, at that time of night? But she was saying she wants it out there and with to start this trial in 6 months. And so, 6 months from now is whatever, February. So right in the middle of all the caucuses and all the campaigning that goes on. And whether it's that one or whether it's the one from D.C. or it doesn't matter. They're creating a very lasting narrative that's going to go through the election season, and I think that's really what they want. And whether any of this actually holds, I don't think they give a rat's ass. Some people do. Yeah.
If this was happening in the other direction.
Oh,
and by the way, if Trump was in office and Biden was running against him, and this evidence was available, this evidence of all the corruption with his son, I mean, that's far clearer. This is like real clear stuff.
Well, but they always come back with, well, look, it was, the Trump kids were working and doing business. And you think, well, they had a business, right? They were real estate developers. There's tangible activity there. Now, that's part of the problem. That's how it gets muddied is that people, in the media or people who are supportive of an administration will say, yeah, but everybody does it. Right? Everybody's engaged in pay for play. Everybody's engaged in influence peddling. And there's some truth in that, but not everybody's engaged in money laundering.
Right.
That might be worth some investigation, but again, I don't think that the point of this exercise on the part of the various DAs, and that's another thing. Look, the DA down in Georgia is that's an elected position, and she's running for office again, and she's campaigning based on getting Trump, right? And she's raising money off of this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get Trump, right? That seems a little odd too, right? I mean, I don't know. It's no surprise that people are losing confidence in the government.
Have you looked at any of the evidence of election manipulation?
Some, but I'll be honest with you, I haven't disappeared fully down that rabbit hole yet. I'm.
Seems like it really suck in.
Yeah, I think it would. And there's a lot of communities. At the times that I have looked, there's a lot of shit out there, and trying to decipher what is just crazy ass bullshit from what is legitimate and deserves investigation, right? I'll be honest with you, I run out of time, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, I got to go, watch one of the kids' games.
So, one thing that Joe brought up that I wasn't able to verify, he said that there's videos of some stuff that doesn't look quite right with some boxes. I couldn't actually find that. I even tried just now again. Couldn't see anything like that I know of. But let's get into this next part here. So now what I'm about to show you, this is actually the conspiracy or the things that Trump did to warrant the furtherance of the conspiracy from the people who completely brand people as conspiracy theorists, but this is the furtherance of the conspiracy. This channel I'm about to show you is actually from Liberal Hive Mind. If you don't know about Liberal Hive Mind, you should definitely check him out. Incredible creator. Really like his stuff. He's somebody who was a very straight up liberal and woke up and started operating differently. And now his mission is to expose the liberal mindset. Here, let's get into a little bit of what he actually, it's pretty amazing.
22. On or about the third day of December 2020, Donald John Trump caused to be tweeted from the Twitter account @RealDonaldTrump, Georgia hearings now at OANN, amazing. This was an overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy. Apparently, tweeting about a news segment and saying that it's amazing, tweeting, the act of tweeting your opinion, or tweeting a news segment, which you believe confirms your opinion, is an overt act of furtherance of a seditious conspiracy to overthrow an election illegitimate. Tweeting is now illegal. That's one act. Here's Act 57. On or about the 11th day of December 2020, David James Schaefer reserved room 216 at the Georgia State Capitol in Fulton County, Georgia, for the December 14, 2020 meeting of Trump presidential elector nominees in Fulton County, Georgia. This was an overt act in the furtherance of a conspiracy. Reserving a room for a meeting to possibly pursue legal action or to contest results is a felony. Here's Act 6. On or about the 21st day of November 2020, Mark Randall Meadows sent a text message to United States Representative Scott Perry from Pennsylvania and stated, "Can you send me the number for the Speaker and the leader of PA legislature? POTUS wants to chat with them." Asking for someone's phone number to have a conversation to ask questions to get details once again because Trump and his legal team had questions and wanted to investigate and challenge is now a felony. Let's go over that. Tweeting while watching TV, reserving a room to have a discussion as to what options are, and asking for a phone number to make a call for the same purpose of, reserving the meeting room, all felonies. Let's continue. Act 128.
And it just goes on like that. I mean, I can even read this last one for you. On the day or about the 5th day of January 2021, Donald John Trump caused to be tweeted from the Twitter account Real Donald Trump. Oh, those were the days when he was back on Twitter, man. I'll tell you, those were the days. The vice president has the power to reject fraudulent chosen electors. This was an overt act to furtherance of the conspiracy. And it just keeps going like that. They just keep on saying these little things that he did were the reasons that they're able to bring up this fourth indictment. Like some of the main reasons. Again, I couldn't find what Joe was talking about in terms of the actual videos of people, I guess, messing with votes, bringing boxes around, moving boxes around, bags around. I couldn't see any of that, but he says it exists. And he's sitting with a CIA guy, so probably has more access than I do. Now we're going to just show you what Donald Trump actually has to say because he's not on Twitter. Can't pull it up. Somebody who's on Truth Social actually saw what he had to say, and here they are saying it for us right now. Let's get into that.
Night, quote, "So the witch hunt continues. 19 people indicted tonight, including the former president of the United States, me, by an out-of-control and very corrupt district attorney who campaigned and raised money on I will get Trump. And what about those indictment documents put out today, long before the grand jury even voted, and then quickly withdrawn? Sounds rigged to me. Why didn't they indict 2.5 years ago? Because they wanted to do it right in the middle of my political campaign. Witch hunt."
So with that, he's really on the same page as Mike Baker, saying the exact same things. Why didn't they indict him before? They obviously want it to be throughout this election. This is a very, in my opinion, a very calculated game that these people are playing in order to not have Trump in office. And it's just really, it's kind of frightening when you really break down what's actually happening. These people, and obviously these are the Democrats, these people in power right now, they see it as they don't have enough in terms of policies and doing the right things and acting by the people and popularity to win again. So what they're doing instead is taking their main political rival and they're trying to put him in jail. Obviously, everybody knows this, but when you really think about it, that's very, very, that's chilling. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. It's not going to stop. If they do this once, they're going to always do this. And who's going to be in office? Biden again? or what, Biden, and then he, something happens to him or he can't go on, and then it's Kamala Harris. I don't know. It's a very interesting. I agree with Trump 100%. It seems like a witch hunt to me. Not even a witch hunt. Again, I'll say it again. I keep saying it, and I hope nothing happens to me for it. But like, it's an attack within. That's what's happening right now. You have somebody who's very popular, who is pretty much a shoo-in to become president, and you have somebody who is not cognitively available. We'll put it that way. And what they're doing is trying to lock up the person who should be president. And this is not just my feeling. This is like by popularity. He should be president. He's a shoo-in to become president. There's no one else who's really about to step in as president right now. RFK, I love him. Doesn't seem like it's going to happen. Vivek, love him. Doesn't seem like it's going to happen. DeSantis, doesn't seem like it's going to happen. There's no one else. You can say Biden, but at this point, any popularity with Biden is either popularity just based on being anti-Trump, or, again, not to make any claims, but it's fictitious. It's not real. It's manufactured popularity. I really don't think there's many people who like this guy at all. I don't know about you. I really can't find anybody who's like, he's the guy. He's good. He's really good. He's really smart. He does great things. The only person I've heard say that is Hillary Clinton recently, and I'll do a video on that. That evil, never mind. But let me know what you guys think about this fourth indictment. And also, I'll just say this before I go. The woman, Fannie Williams, I believe she's the DA for Georgia. Trump is right. She was running on a campaign of I will get Trump. It's very, very interesting. So now it's almost like she has to do this. I always say this as well. I wish when these people made these crazy decisions that don't really seem like they have much foundation in truth, I wish we could see their bank accounts. I just wish we could see I wish it was just on a screen in Times Square and it's just sitting there, all of their bank accounts, and just see what happens. Because then all this behavior would stop. There'd be no incentive. And that's just me speaking. I'm not saying I have no proof of anything like that, but it's a wish that I have. It's not something I'm saying is true. It's just a wish that I had. I wish I could see their bank accounts and just see what it looks like when they do wild stuff like this. This woman, I will say this woman, Fannie Williams, she doesn't realize, or maybe she does, that as she does this fourth indictment, she could be on the verge of destroying the country. And North America as well, because I don't know. I really can't stop thinking about an attack within. That's just what it seems like. Anybody who is willing to stand up for the people seems to get attacked to no end. Seems to get demonized to no end. It's a funny thing, but it feels like there's something evil on that side of the court. That's just me. I'm just saying. But again, like the video if you haven't liked it already. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And other than that, I'm out. Let me know in the comments what you think. What do you think about this whole thing? Do you think Mike Barker and Trump, do you think that they're on the right track? That they're just doing this just to carry it out? It seems almost like it's the Russian collusion thing. They said it for so long. It wasn't true. No retractions, no apologies. They just went on to the next thing. And this indictment stuff seems like the next thing. They're just going to drag this out to make him look as bad as they can. And when it turns out that he's completely innocent, there's going to be no retractions, no apologies, and then it's on to the next thing. And that's the worry. What's the next thing? If they don't get this, what's the next thing? All right, guys, I'm out of here.